Before we do get into this match preview, make sure you do download the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app is a free football fan app for Android and iOS, which keeps you up to date with all the latest transfer news, team news, lineups, tables, statistics. Everything is covered on the OneFootball app. If you go to the following tab, select Watford as your follow club, click on the badge, you can get predictions for tomorrow's clash against Tottenham Hotspur, Watford's latest news, this season, how is it going? We sit 7th in the league at the moment. We've also got stats, the games coming up, results in past fixtures, and also the squad at hand at the moment. Download the OneFootball app. Make sure you click the link in the description below to download the OneFootball app. And let's go over to Shane for this match preview.
Hey guys, welcome back to WD18, the Watford fans channel. I'm here for another preview as the Golden Boys prepare to go to Wembley on Wednesday night to face Spurs in an 8 o'clock kickoff. As always with these previews, before we get into the actual game, let's have a little bit of a recap in regards to our last game. And for the Hornets, it was a successful FA Cup 4th round weekend as we went up to Newcastle and beat them 2-0. Courtesy of goals from Andre Gray and Isaac Success, really. A game that wasn't really very memorable. It was a bit like the game in the last round against Woking. Not very memorable, not an FA Cup classic by any means, but another game where we just turned up and we got the job done, really. Andre Gray with a very well taken goal, Will Hughes with a fantastic assist, and Isaac Success as well, tapping in what was a routine win, some might say. Not a great team performance from Watford, but Newcastle on the other hand were absolutely atrocious, frankly, for 90 minutes, and a lot of the reaction from their fans has been echoing that. Not really much else to say, really, about the last game. But the fact that Watford did make 11 changes as well got a lot of attention, especially in the media from certain pundits. But the bottom line is, Watford went out there, they got the result, they're through to the next round. Looking ahead, though, to the immediate future, and that is, of course, Wednesday night. Of course, we take on Spurs. Let's get into some team news, though, to start off with. Not a lot of team news, to be honest with you, with Watford. Abdoulaye Doucouré, Kiko Femenia and Sebastian Prödl, the injuries from last weekend's preview, are still out. Doucouré due back, I believe, for the Brighton game. Prödl and Femenia, there's been very little news about them. Kiko, I think, maybe out for slightly longer. A shame, really, and a shame that Kiko is out. I think Kiko has been one of our most underrated players this season. I love the way he bombs forward on that right hand side, and I think he'll be a really big miss, especially going up against this Spurs side. A Spurs side that, we all mustn't forget we got the better of this season in a fantastic game back in September, a 2-1 win at Vicarage Road, courtesy of goals by Troy Deeney and Craig Cathcart. And a game that will live long in the memories, I'm sure, for a lot of Watford fans. Get in, though, to a predicted lineup for today, for Wednesday night. Bit of a test, though, a bit of an interesting conundrum, really, for Javi. A lot of players I thought on Saturday performed really well. I think the most notably, I give a massive shout out to Ben Wilmot and Domingos Quina. Whilst I don't think Wilmot's necessarily in contention, I do think Quina is in with a genuine shout, really, of starting. Also thought, for the most part, when Peñaranda came on, he looked very lively as well. And I'm hoping there's a place for Peñaranda on the bench this weekend. This weekend on Wednesday night. Because, look, I think there's been a lot of ifs and buts maybe about his quality, etc. There's no doubt he looks like a very talented, very promising player. But we're not going to know that, playing against Woking, playing against Newcastle in the Cup. Newcastle were poor for their part. So it's about putting him into a Premier League squad, put him on the bench, bring him on, and let's see actually what he can do. It will be a bit of a baptism of fire for him maybe, but that's the only way in which we're really going to know what he's really made of. So let's start off, let's get into this predicted lineup then. In goal, Aurelio Gomez did very well for us on Saturday, but Ben Foster will come straight back in again. Back four, Daryl Janmaat, I think, will come in for Kiko Femenia. The rest of the back four, though, is very much the same as always. Craig Cathcart, Christian Cavacelle and Jose Holebas. In the midfield, this is the really interesting one for me, and I kind of want to change things up a little bit in regards to this. I think Etienne Capoue will come back in again, of course, against his old side. He always seems to turn it on against his old side. In the midfield, though, bit of an interesting one, this one. There are two options in there. I think the first one is Tom Cleverley. I think, as I've said many times before, great player to have, coming obviously either off the bench and either starting. But are we a little bit limited, perhaps, maybe going forward with the two of them in that team? They're more your kind of holding back players, really. And I maybe look at the other option that I've got here is Domingos Quina. I think he's done really well in all the times he's had to come into the side. He started well. He started so well against Cardiff. I mean, that's the one standout game. Of course, he scored his first goal in Watford colours. He did really well on Saturday as well. I'm tempted to pick Domingos Quina, actually, in the middle of that midfield. Now, that might be a bit of a risk talking about who we're going up against, but I think he's got someone alongside him in Etienne Capoue, who I think will help him through the game. And ultimately allow one of them to at least maybe push forward throughout the game as well. I just think we're a little bit too cautious, I think, when Cleverley's in the lineup. And ultimately, look, we've got an injury in Doucouré. It's a chance for someone like Kiedis to step up. I think for the most part, though, the other option in there, Nathaniel Chalobah, I just don't think he was very good against Newcastle in the week. Rest of the team, though, I'd go 2 and then 2 up top. I switched Deulofeu out to the right-hand side. I've said this before, I don't think he's a second striker. I think his best position's out on the right-hand side. Left side of midfield for me is Roberto Pereira. Really need to see an improvement in performance from him. He's looked really sluggish in the last couple of weeks. Then up top for me, I go 2 up top, Troy and Andre. Let's now have a bit of a chat about Tottenham and what has been pretty much a week from hell, really, for them. They've been knocked out of 2 cup competitions. Of course, they failed to make the Carabao Cup final, losing to Chelsea in a penalty shootout, and you may have seen on Sunday afternoon they were knocked out of the FA Cup 2-0 by Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. It's not really been a great week for them, really, and I guess they'll be looking to bounce back on Wednesday night. Their last game at Wembley was a 1-0 defeat to Manchester United, and as a result of that, they've lost their last 3 games in all competitions, including the 3 that I mentioned. The 2 games that they have actually won was, of course, the 1-0 first leg in the Carabao Cup at Wembley against Chelsea. And the other game that they won was actually a very last gasp game. A 2-1 win away at Fulham. Harry Winks with the winning goal there. Didn't really play very well in that game either, to be honest. And whilst it's all well and good me sitting here looking at their form thinking, oh yeah, there's this, there's that, we can maybe get at them through this, through that kind of channel. I'm a bit worried in some respects, because whilst 50% of me is quite confident that, do you know what, yeah, we can go there with the players that they've got out, and we'll get onto their team news in a little bit. There's the other half of me that's like, they're going to be looking for a response, and we are the next team in their firing line. And, certain things have happened as well in the last few days. Of course, Son has returned to the squad. Korea not making it as far as they maybe thought they should have done in the Asia Cup. That will be a huge boost for them. He didn't, of course, play any part on Sunday, but I'd imagine he'd be fit enough maybe for a spot on the bench on Wednesday. If not, probably even in the starting 11. Eriksen was rested as well for the FA Cup game. And so they're getting some of their key players back in there. Of course, Eriksen can always produce a moment of magic on his day. Son, I think, has been absolutely unbelievable this season. But if we actually now do go on and have a little bit of a chat about their team news, of course, as people will know, it's been reported so widely within the last couple of weeks or so, they have got 2 big injuries in Dele Alli and Harry Kane, both of which are out and both of which are big blows for them. Kane scores a lot of their goals. Ali scores goals, gets assists. Absolute menace is what they both are. Both the 2 of them are menaces, and quite frankly, I'm actually really glad that they're both out of the game on Wednesday night. Elsewhere, Moussa Sissoko is out with a knee injury. Expected return date is actually supposed to be for Wednesday night, so I'm not entirely sure about that. 50-50 perhaps. Ben Davis as well is their other injury. There's been no further news on him, so I would assume that he may well be out of the game. All we can do is turn up and take our chances. As I say, fast start is needed. Get the early goal. Not sitting back like we tend to do. I think this is absolutely crucial when we play the big sides. If we get a lead, we must look to build upon it. Wolves style, really. We got that goal straight away. A minute later, we got a second, and that ultimately killed them. That's what we need to do. I'm hoping the crowd are up for it, hoping the away ends sing their hearts out. Same kind of atmosphere we had at Vicarage Road when the place was absolutely buzzing. It's hard to create an atmosphere at Wembley, but we turn the noise up. That could well be the difference on the night. Anyway, I'm going to leave that preview there. Thank you very much for watching. I will be at Wembley on Wednesday night, as will Jacob and the rest of the lads. We will be doing fan cams outside Wembley Stadium. Don't forget to join us. Please don't forget to subscribe. And come on, you Golden Boys.